to all the dispossessed youth of Africa, for perpetuation of communion with ancestral spirits through the fight for African freedom, and in the firm faith that the dead, the living, and the unborn will unite to build the destroyed shrines. Selah. Hello and welcome, beloveds, to another episode of Wake Up Africa. My name is Dr. Mumbi Seraki. How you doing? How's everything going? I really do pray that you are well in all your ways and that you're moving into living life on your own terms, in your own narrative, beloveds. That is the most important thing. We're still out here in the Garden of freaking Eden, living our best life, but still being called, of course, to walk according to our calling. Beloveds, this is the kind of season where a lot of things are falling off in your life, but you must stand firm. You must stand firm. The higher part of you, which is why I always say stay uplifted. The higher part of you, beloveds, must stand with the lower aspects of yourself that were broken in your previous book so that you can pass through the obstacles, because it's all just mental, beloveds. It's all mental, but mental is a massive pull. And remember, I keep telling you guys, our mind, our subconscious doesn't know the difference between what we do physically and what we dream. It's all the same to it. And that's why this new virtual reality is so dangerous, because they're trying to trick our minds into entering a world where the body is kind of like disconnected. The body now becomes just a harvesting machine for energy. It's absolutely wicked, beloveds. So that's why we have to really, the greatest clarity you need to change your life is in your mind. And many are just, they've lost their minds, so they're not coming back. But this story really, really disturbed me when you think about the fact that our minds don't know the difference between what we're dreaming and what we're physically experiencing. There's a woman who's reported that she was virtually gang raped on Facebook's Metaverse just seconds after she stepped into the new virtual world. And she says, within 60 seconds of joining, I was verbally and sexually harassed. 3 to 4 male avatars with male voices essentially, but virtually gang raped my avatar and took photos. Now, she's a 43-year-old woman based in London called Nina. And she said, as she tried to stop it, as I tried to get away, they yelled, "Don't pretend you didn't love it and go rub yourself off to the photo." This is pure darkness, beloveds. This is pure wickedness. You see, the enemies of our soul, and I'm telling you, these are demons that are creating this virtual world. The technology we're using right now, beloveds, which we're all like, wow, like from these iPads to the phones to the this to, the cameras and all that. That is technology that was given to the Mzungus. And all technology matches the vibration of reality. So these virtual worlds, can you imagine? And this has totally traumatized her. She says, it was surreal, it was a nightmare. And, and the whole thing is because she feels like it physically happened to her, because in her mind it did. And that's the loophole that Babylon found about our world, beloveds. Because many of us exist in so many places through here. And so they entered and infected here. And you see, this is such a low vibrational place. Can you imagine a woman gets gang raped? Like the platform's been up for like 2 seconds. And I think, Facebook and the Metaverse, like seriously, there's a spiritual war going on with even that. They lost something like $239 billion in one day in the stock exchange, which is like the biggest loss ever in the history of the stock exchange. So there's a lot happening. But even how Facebook responded, which makes me think, that Mark guy, man. Yeah, I don't even think he's human. Like, for real, for real. Remember when there was that where he was doing an interview and he's like, well, if I was human, I mean, what do I mean? I am human.
You need to remind yourself that you need to focus and and try not to let stuff bother you as much as possible. But it is going to bother you because you're human, and I was human. I am human still. But um, but it but I was just referring to myself in the past. Not that I was not human.
And so this guy, the Meta spokesperson, he said, we're sorry to hear that happened. We want everyone in Horizon venues to have a positive experience, easily from the safety tools that can help a situation like this and help us investigate and take action. Like literally, beloveds, these people have no imagination. I was about to swear. These people have absolutely no imagination. They're literally creating this world in another world. Who wants to go into a virtual world which looks like this one? People are already trying to escape this one and create a new one. Like, this is so sick, beloveds. And the reason I'm even bringing it to your attention is please, 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 as much as possible, keep your children out. Because this world is not even created for us. She was 43. It's really, this platform has not been created for her. It's been created for the youth and the young people. And I know you guys listen to me. So please, it's so awesome. You guys, stop getting into all these virtual worlds and being in front of your computers. I know you guys go through so much sometimes in your homes, but develop a routine where you're going out, you're working out, you're going to the forest or hanging out in nature. Even if the environment you're in is not conducive for that, find a way to avoid these worlds. I thought the metaverse was going to be like waterfalls and me flying across the world with wings. That's what I thought, like experiences that I cannot have here. But why would you enter a virtual world that looks like this one, beloveds? When this is like a low form and version of reality. Like, it really doesn't make sense to me. But the thing is, they have primed our children for this, taking them out of the home, putting them in education centers, making the parents so busy where they have to work. So that now your children, you put them in front of the TV, you give them gadgets. And then the children, of course, want these gadgets as well. But they grow up in these virtual worlds. So it's so simple for them to step into it and make it their world, beloveds. But this is not it. And it's just like, imagine the wickedness and the evil that is at the algorithm and at the foundation of this for a woman to get gang raped. Like, imagine the kind of mind, and they're talking about sexual predators and this and this. And then many of these people, like, you see, wickedness is actually being out of balance. And the society is out of balance. So they push people to be like their worst nightmare. And people are super, annoyed at how Facebook has kind of brushed it off, and they've said they're going to try and fix the algorithms and make it more secure, and because there was no way for her to tap out. And that's the thing, beloveds, like, your mind thinks that world is real, so you can't even just pull off those goggles and get out of it. And best believe, like, everything happens spiritual. This is like they're trying to do some kind of low-level spiritual works. Because whatever happens on this virtual world, which is their version of spirituality, it's literally must manifest, but it's manifesting already physically, because that becomes like a real experience to you. I don't know if I'm making sense, but beloveds, long story short, this is so wicked, man. This is so diabolical that would even be an option in a virtual world. And people need to start questioning, where is this technology coming from? Because people are saying we're like 10, 20, 30 years. If you were to just use the Muzungu human brains, we're like 30 years out for really having these virtual worlds. A lot of the technology we used are weapons, beloveds, against us that lower our frequency. Even this. Because there's a hand on the eye, and the fact that I'm putting it here is just, it's not good. It's like radiation going into my hand. We know this, beloveds, but they're trying to take us even deeper into this. And the end game is to stake your soul, man. People are selling their souls without even knowing it. Through smiles and, oh, this is such an amazing breakthrough and blah, blah, blah. You see, some people have to create these virtual worlds because they're not going to exist physically much longer. They're on an extinction path. But this is not especially if you look like me, this is not our reality. This is not what it's about, beloveds. This is not why we came here. So don't get lost in translation and mess up the golden bloodline that you have, that you're supposed to now take to another level. Because, beloveds, we're in a season, and I'm ending now, where there's going to be an explosion of melanin, DNA, melanin awareness. And many of you are already feeling it. So sit tight. Don't fall for these fake worlds when the real one is manifesting. Tuko pamoja.